Audio Jungle.
Quartz Bargain Center in Spanish Town set ablaze. The Quartz Bargain Center on Young Street in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, is still calculating its loss after the building was set on fire early yesterday morning. Reports were that about 2 a.m., the Spanish Town Fire Brigade received a call that the building was ablaze. A team responded and put out the fire, which damaged several stores, washing machines, refrigerators, and other items. Cooling down operations were ongoing up to yesterday afternoon. Sections of Spanish Town are tense following the fatal shooting of reputed one other strongman Authentic Man Labon. Labon was killed in an alleged confrontation with the police in St. Andrew. The incident has reportedly caused unrest in Spanish Town. Taxi operators are scarce, the entrance to the market is empty, and there was a general closure of a number of businesses throughout the Spanish Town corridor. Residents are hopeful for a quick resolution. Meanwhile, the security forces were seen maintaining a strong presence in the area. The unrest started with the tires of several police vehicles being slashed by persons along the Ellis Line Penn Road corridor. Commanding officer for the St. Catherine North Police Division, Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, says that the police will redouble its effort to contain the problem and restore normalcy. Murder convicts walk free due to 20-year retrial delay. Two fishermen whose convictions and sentences for the 2004 murders of three children in firebombing incident in Portmore, St. Catherine were set aside by the appeal court in 2012 and a retrial ordered walk free on Thursday after a Supreme Court judge ordered a permanent stay of the indictment charging them with the killing. Supreme Court Judge Justice Leighton Pusey ruled that the 20-year delay in settling the matter is unwarranted and a third trial now would be unfair. Emphasizing that the permanent stay is not an acquittal, Justice Pusey said while the offenses for which the accused are charged is serious and there is a prevalence of these types of offenses in Jamaica, the evidence against the applicants was sufficient to set up a prima facie case against them. The court had to find that the delay had severely threatened the applicants in that a fair trial could not be guaranteed. This is especially so considering the culminating effect of the following factors: availability of prosecution witnesses, unavailability of original witnesses, which may have supported the defense, the unavailability of the alibi witness for the applicants, the unavailability of the transcript from the first trial, and the lack of information regarding when the transcript will be available, the psychological impact the delay in the trial has had on the applicants, and the period of time between the alleged offense and the likely time within which this trial would be completed, which has already exceeded 20 years, Justice Pusey said in handing down the decision in the Home Circuit Division of the Supreme Court downtown Kingston. The two men, Warren McCarthy and Richard Britton, had been found guilty before a judge of the Home Circuit Court in 2010 for the murder of 5-year-old twin Tyreek and Tyrone Henry and their 3-year-old Moesha Lee. They were sentenced to life imprisonment with eligibility for parole after 14 years. However, they mounted an appeal. The appeal court in ordinary trial said in all the circumstances, the interests of justice demand a new trial and recommended that the retrial take place before the end of the term. The retrial did not proceed until 2014 and resulted in a hung jury. A third trial was set for November 2023, but that did not get off the ground as attorneys Keith Bishop and Lloyd McFarlane made an application before the court for a permanent stay of the matter, citing issues surrounding the availability of witnesses and the availability of the transcript of the original trial, which has not been located, among other things. On Thursday, Justice Pusey, in reading from his draft judgment, said, "I am of the view that if this court is satisfied that a trial of an accused would not be fair in the circumstances, then there would be an abuse of process. The court can use its common law powers to order a permanent stay of the proceedings. The process of determining whether there is an abuse of process, where the court is considering the effect of delay, are almost identical to that of establishing whether the right of a fair trial is violated as a result of delay. The court is of the view that no directions and safeguards could adequately address or mitigate the inherent prejudice of this matter." Justice Pusey said further in ordering that the indictment dated April 7, 2024, which charged the applicants with 3 counts of murder, be permanently stayed. is barred from initiating any other proceedings against applicants in respect of the charges outlined in that indictment. According to the facts outlined during the appeal hearing, about 1:15 on the morning of September 14, 2004, Pansy Henry, the main witness for the prosecution, was at her home at Port Henderson Road with her common law husband, her children, and stepchildren. Tyrone and Tyreek Henry and Moisha Lee were three of their children. She was awake while the other members of the household were asleep. On hearing footsteps outside the house and sound like water being thrown around the house, she became suspicious. This prompted her to look through the window. She related seeing the applicants, who lived in the same community and were well known to her, standing at the side of her house. She said one of the men lit about a torch and threw the torch on the house, after which they both ran. The house became engulfed in flames and Tyrone, Tyreek, and Moisha perished in the fire. According to prosecutors before the fire, there had been an earlier encounter between the two men and Henry over their use of tractor to dig a trench on her property. The men left but returned with the police, according to court documents. One of them, during an exchange in the presence of cop, told Henry, "Burn me, I go burn down your house before the night done," to which she reported, "They will, they can find you a bag too. Two of you can dead." The other man then said, "I dead the girl fi dead, dead she fi dead." The cop cautioned all the individuals and then left. At the trial, however, the men in unsworn statement said they had no knowledge of the fire and learnt about it after. The alibi of the men were that they had actually been together that night, as one of them has been displaced by a hurricane and had sought refuge at the home of the other. On Thursday, veteran attorney Lloyd McFarlane, who along with attorney Russ Stewart represented McCarthy, told the media following the ruling that for all practical reasons it is finished. McFarlane, in the meantime, said it was important that the judge's decision be publicized, as he had found that oftentimes judgments at the level of the Supreme Court, which establish a precedent, are missed by other colleagues on the benchmark as against matters decided by the appeal court or even the constitutional court. This is no precedent, he declared. Bishop, who has been an attorney on the matter from 2004 and who represented Britain, supported by Bishop and Pinnock, described the case as extraordinary given the fact that it took 20 of his 28 years of the provision to settle. Although the judge was careful enough to say he was not relying on the constitutional provisions, in my view, the common law provision he relied on run right aside the constitutional provision because every Jamaican citizen is entitled to a fair trial within a reasonable time, and this is what the judge used to say that because of 20-year delay, the accused men would not have been able to get a fair trial, Bishop argued. He said McCarthy and Britain were very delighted that the matter is finally at end. It has been a long road for them, and they have faced two trials in the matter. It is now finally behind them. It was hanging over their heads because they were seen as murderers. It would have affected them. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.